Hi, and welcome to 100 Meditation Tips. Today we're looking at meditation tip number 30, which is, from time to time, it's good to take yourself on retreat. Meditation retreat. Meditation retreat is where we temporarily move away from the busyness of our daily life. We move away from our distractions, we move away from all the jobs, all the lists, all the emails, everything, and we take a break. Not only do we take a physical break, like we do when we go on holiday, but we take a mental break as well. And we try to focus exclusively on meditation and very little else. Going on meditation retreat really helps you to deepen your experience and appreciation of meditation, and I really recommend trying it. There's many different types of meditation retreat. This is a general appreciation, if you like, a general encouragement about going on a meditation retreat. You know, later we can do some videos and some discussion about how to do retreat in different types, but we can go on meditation retreat for a morning, for an evening. We can go on meditation retreat for a day, one day, a weekend, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. When I first learnt to meditate over in Nepal, I was staying in a monastery there, and a lama, a Buddhist teacher, had just come back from a 20-year retreat. 25-year retreat. So 20-year retreat, where he was focusing exclusively on training in meditation. So perhaps we're not going to go that far just yet to deepen our experience, but it's good to start to think about meditation retreats and the different types of retreats that we can go on. For example, if you type into the internet meditation retreat, should we do it? Meditation retreat. I'm going to type that into the net now. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so retreats in Thailand, retreats in Norway, retreats in the Bahamas, retreats in Turkey, retreats in Sweden. I'm currently browsing this in the West Midlands, so Google is picking up my location. So it's telling me, oh, rural France, Northern Carolina. So if I'm new to this game, the retreat game, I'm looking around. It seems that meditation retreat it's going to require me to travel somewhere. Not just mentally, but physically as well. So let's say I take the first one, meditation retreat in Thailand. Sounds good, doesn't it? Sounds very nice. To be able to accomplish that, well, first of all I'm going to need a plane ticket, which will send me back a little amount. Then there's the retreat. I haven't gone through to the website, but often retreats, this kind of retreat is done at a high quality hotel or resort, so we perhaps put on top of the travel, on top of the resort, maybe looking at £1,500 to £2,000, $2,500 for perhaps a weekend or a week away somewhere. Fair enough. I would say this is more like a holiday, like a meaningful spiritual holiday. Of course, it's a little bit like a retreat, but one of the things that we can find if we decide to travel a long way to go on retreat is we spend a lot of time and energy travelling. So if we're only going on retreat for, let's say, 10 days, 2 weeks, and we're going to somewhere in Asia, then we'll find ourselves 2, 3 of those days of travel. Then actually getting to the place and acclimatizing to the different culture, the different tastes of food. And although these things can appear exotic, they're not necessarily going to help us train in meditation. Yeah, they can actually become distractions. So I'm not dismissing this form of retreat. There's a time and a place for it, but these videos are really be looking at for beginners who they want to get some experience, you know, and you can do that. Some people perhaps could do that, depending on your circumstance, in your own house. Yeah, perhaps on a Sunday you set aside a morning to begin with, where you're just going to do several sessions of meditation in the same place, perhaps in a spare room, in a bedroom. If you live with other people, you tell them that your schedule, you're going to be in this room between, let's say, 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12 in the morning. And you go there and start to meditate, you know, following a meditation practice that you're familiar with, of course. To gain a deeper experience, so you're retreating from normal busy day that you would have, or the normal weekend day. This is the beginnings of a retreat. You see, you haven't, firstly, you haven't spent any more money than you normally would. You haven't got the distractions and losing the energy of travelling. You're just simply retreating and then mentally going in, just for a morning. And then you can extend that if you wish, depending on your circumstance, of course. This is how we can start to begin to sow the seeds, and then if we're interested, then perhaps think about going on a day retreat. There is something to be said, you know, we're saying about travelling, it takes energy, of course, but there is something to be said for change of environment, moving away, letting go of the busyness, disruption of everyday life, and going somewhere where we don't have those distractions. Even if it's just a 30-minute drive, perhaps into the countryside. Or sometimes now, even inside city centres, there are locations where you can, even that, like an oasis, you know, like an oasis of calm in a busy environment. Just going somewhere like that, just beginning gently. You know, sometimes people jump straight in, perhaps, to a 2-week silent retreat, sitting for 8 hours a day, which of course can be wonderful. But starting from just like 10-15 minute meditation every day to that is quite extreme. And sometimes, you know, it's like perhaps we do a very crash diet, you know, but it has an effect initially, but it needs to be more organic. So we start to integrate a retreat into our life. It starts to become part of our life. With meditation retreat, finally we're coming around to concentrating and focusing our mind. This is the priority. So it's good to try and find a location which has few distractions, which is pleasant, you know, it's a pleasant, clean environment, and there is some support for practice. We can do our own investigation depending on our meditative tradition, whether we have one or not, depending on our particular inclination. We can investigate and perhaps try out some different retreats. But I would say the most important thing in a retreat is that we've got a place where we can quietly focus our mind with little distractions. Yeah, this is the most important thing. Maybe right now you can't go on retreat, whatever your circumstances, but start to develop a wish, develop an aspiration, develop an intention for one day doing a meditation retreat, starting gently, then building up your capacity, and who knows, perhaps, you know, to go on a nice retreat overseas sometime as well. Thanks for tuning in. That was meditation tip number 30. Look forward to seeing you for the next tips. Bye for now.